Hello my crafty friends. Today I'm going to be making another card with the Vine Design stamp set, actually the bundle, because I'll be using the dies from this bundle. I'll be using this die here, and I'll be using this flower die and these three little flower dies, also this label die. Okay, so again, it's the Vine Design. You have several sentiments to choose from. For this card, I used Thinking of You, but today I'm going to be making a birthday card. So let's get started. We'll be using Pool Party. We'll be using Pool Party ink and Cinnamon Cider ink and Pool Party Designer Series or cardstock and a piece of vellum, a piece of cinnamon cider, and of course that cutout design. Isn't it beautiful? And I've already stamped my label and die cut it to say happy birthday. I have a piece of ribbon here. This is the Stampin' Up! Pool Party sheer ribbon, and I've already tied it into a bow. And then I have stamped my various flowers, and I've stamped them in cinnamon cider and then stamped off for some of them, and the rest are in Pool Party. So I have two of the large flowers in the cinnamon cider and Pool Party, and three of the Pool Party small flowers, and three of the Pool Party, or I'm sorry, the cinnamon cider flowers. So those are the pieces that we'll need. We'll also need this little leaf stamp that comes in the set. You almost overlook it, but it's right here, and it's very handy. So we're going to be using that for the edge of our card, and for the inside, we're going to be putting it across the top. Okay, so let's get started here, and why don't we start with stamping the outside of our card. So this is going to be a side fold card. So I have a piece for the inside as well. So let's start by stamping the edge of the card. So I think, let's see. Let's get the Pool Party ink going here. And I'm going to turn my paper this way so that I can stamp off. So I'm just going to put the little mat underneath it. So you just want to stamp the leaves around the edges. So, and they don't all have to be going the same way. So you want to give it a little bit of design. Okay, so you just need a few to look like that. And then we're going to do the same on the inside at the top of the card. So I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to ink up my stamp and just stamp all along the top. And don't press too hard like I've done here and got ink on the wayward ink there, but still it's pretty. So it should look about like that. Okay, so let's finish off the inside of the card while we've got it started here. So I've cut a piece of cardstock, and I'll give you all the measurements on the instruction sheet. So we're going to place this in here to write our sentiment. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down. So just add some glue here. Glue's been giving me fits today, so I've kept a pin in it to keep it flowing. Okay. So kind of center this below where you've stamped your leaves. So that's for the inside of your card. Okay. And back to the outside of the card. The way we're going to do this is we're going to make layers. So you want the cinnamon cider to be on the bottom, covered by the vellum piece. And to do that so that you really don't see where the glue is, or the tape, whatever you're going to use to put on there, you really can't see it too much through the design, but I'm going to strategically try to place it. So let's do this. Let's put this on the center of the vellum first. I think that's what's going to be easiest. So take your glue and put it in perhaps the center of the flower, behind some of the leaves. So in some of the little very centers of the flower, there's some space there where it's easier to put a little dab of glue so that it can catch onto that vellum. So maybe on the outside there. Okay, so that's probably a dot of glue in the center of each of the flowers anyway. And that is enough to hold it down to the vellum. So I want to try to center this on the vellum carefully. And then just press down the centers of those flowers and the leaves that you put the glue on. Okay, so there you go. So then if you flip it over and you go ahead and put your glue back in the same spots in the center of each of those flowers, just a little dab of glue, and maybe on the outer leaves in the center of each flower. Just a dab. Just a dab will do ya. Okay, so I think that will probably do it. All of our little glue dots. Then bring in the cinnamon cider piece and center your die cut piece on that piece of cinnamon cider and press down. And then you know that you won't be able to see any of that glue through your beautiful design. All right, and then you're going to take the cinnamon cider piece, or the whole piece, and turn it over. And so on the cinnamon cider, you can feel comfortable putting your glue down because it's not going to show through at all. Okay, so I've glued that up. We're going to center this on our card here. And lay that down. Okay. So let's bring our other card in for reference, and we'll probably put this one together the same way. You can take your bow now, and I'm going to get a glue dot because they seem to secure the bow down the best, and put a glue dot on the back of the center of the bow. And then I'm just going to put this down right on the edge of the vellum, right next to the tip of this flower. So there I have my ribbon. Okay, so some of our flowers we're going to put down with dimensionals, and I have the mini and the regular. And we're also going to put down our sentiment on dimensionals. So let's go ahead and do the sentiment first, and then we'll find the position of our flowers. So you want to be a little generous with the dimensionals so that your when you put your card in the envelope, it doesn't sink in the center. So let's remove the backing from the dimensionals. Okay, and then we're going to place this right about, I'm going to say here. Okay, so there you have the sentiment. Now on the first card that I made, I used some of the Nuvo drops in the centers, but I wasn't quite happy with that. So I'm going to be using the jewels for that. So let's put our flowers down so that we have them placed where we want them. So I'm going to just take my fingers and curl up each of the leaves. And I'm going to do a placement first to be sure that I have them where I want them. So let's pull up the edges of these flowers. This one I'm going to put on a dimensional. So I think they're large enough really to put the large dimensional on the back of. So this one I want to be probably right about there. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Right like that. And I'm putting it over my sentiment this time. Okay. And then the little brown ones, cinnamon cider. Just as I'm getting used to these colors, we're going to be getting new ones. So, okay. So forgive me if I call it brown or blue instead of cinnamon cider and pool party. Pool party, I know. We've had that one a while and I love it. Okay, so we're going to put this little flower down here, right about there. And let's go ahead and put this one down with some glue. So you can be a little generous with your glue if you can get it to come out right in the center of the flower. And we're going to place it behind these right there. And then I'm going to do the same for this one. And I'm just going to glue it down with some glue right in the center. Right here. Let's take our take a pick tool and just press it down there. And the same with one of the pool party flowers. And we'll put it right here. And let's press it down with stylus. Okay. And now let's put the rest of the flowers on. One of the little blue ones is going to be glued down over here, right about there. And the brown one we're going to put on the sentiment, right on the edge. I did place the happy birthday a little bit over to the right so that I could put the little flower on there without it impeding what it says. So I'm just going to put that right there. And this one we're going to put on a dimensional. Again, bend the leaves and take a large dimensional. Peel off the backing. Put that one right here. And the same for this pool party flower. We're going to place it on a dimensional as well. We're going to slip it under the edge of this one and a little higher or lower, however you want to go. Maybe I'll put a little lower. Okay. And then last but not least, we have one more of these little pool party flowers. Okay, this one we're going to put down with a little dab of glue. And again, I'll use my stylus to put that down there. Right there. Okay, now we're going to take the Take a Pick tool. Or you can, if you don't want to use the jewels and have them on there sticking up, you could also just use stickles, because stickles, I've had better luck with stickles than I have had with the Nuvo drops recently. So let me reposition this flower so that it's off of that sentiment label. Okay, so I'm going to go with the jewels. So let's take the Take a Pick tool, and I'll sit down to do this. Take a jewel, put it in the center of the flower, and press it down. Now, when you're sending a card that has dimensionals and little jewels in it, it's probably better if you put a piece of cardstock over the front of your card before you put it in the envelope, and that way it won't catch in the post office machinery and either tear your envelope or cause it to have some kind of problem so that it doesn't get to its destination. So we want to avoid that. And this is a lot of little jewels. All right. Okay, so there you have my second Vine Design birthday card. Okay, thank you for watching the video. Have a wonderful day.